Triptych.
Greetings, world. Welcome to the Hip Hop Scholar Podcast, where beats meet bibliography, where culture is archived, memory is documented, and the sound becomes scholarship. This is Hip Hop as History, Theory, and Lived Experience. I am Melanie, your host, the Hip Hop Scholar, and today we continue our mission of honoring the voices, the visionaries, and the conservators of a culture that has shaped the world. Every episode, we have the blessing of interviewing contributors whose love for hip-hop runs deeper than charts, trends, or algorithms. These are the people who preserve the stories, guard the memories, and keep the flame burning. Among these culture keepers are the archivists, the ones who remind us that hip-hop didn't just start with a playlist. It included the music with print, with photos, with vinyl, with the tangible receipts of our existence. And today, we are honored to welcome one of the most passionate and meticulous archivists of the collection, Samantha, known across social media and the culture as S.MarieDatsMe. Samantha's work is more than nostalgic. It is historical. Her collection is a curated museum of Black music, Black brilliance, and Black memory. Laid out across magazine covers, classic vinyl, vintage cassette tapes, and iconic issues of Vibe, The Source, Honey, and so much more. Through her TikTok, she has built a digital sanctuary where moments from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s come alive again, reminding us of a time when artistry was bold, photography was storytelling, and covers were cultural events. Samantha's presence bridges generations. For those who lived it, she brings back the texture and the heartbeat. And for those discovering it, she becomes the guide, the educator, the historian. Samantha doesn't just show the artifacts. She restores the feeling attached to them. She is part scholar, part storyteller, part stylist, and completely dedicated to preserving the legacy of a culture that continues to shape the world. So today, we honor Samantha's labor, her eye, her commitment, and her contribution. This conversation is about archiving, preserving, and remembering. It's about the power of holding history in your hands. It's about the artistry of being a collector in a digital age. And most of all, it's about celebrating Samantha, a true guardian of hip-hop's visual and historical lineage. I am very proud to welcome to the Hip Hop Scholar Podcast, S.MarieDatsMe. Now let's get into it.
Oh my God.
Have to give you your flowers, my dear. Welcome.
I absolutely adore you. What in the world?
Oh, yes, ma'am. We get flowers here on this podcast. Absolutely. We celebrate you for archiving, and you have such an amazing array of collections that we've seen. I'm so honored to have you here. I know we're going to continue to have a good time. Even in pre-production, we were just talking like sisters. And so I'm very honored to share what you do for the culture and so many different facets. So this is just one piece of what you do bring, because you do so much. You are a doula, you are a supporter of others, you are a living legend, Miss Samantha. You absolutely are. Come on now.
Come on, living legend. You better tell the people, because the people be acting like they don't know. Okay?
Exactly.
Living legend.
That's right. You so much more living to do. And so one of the first questions, and though you're not an artist, you are still promoting the artistry. But talk to us about when you fell in love with hip hop the very first time.
I'm gonna tell you something. So I've been watching all these clips. I'm like, ooh, what am I gonna say? Ooh, 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 ooh. When I first fell in love with hip hop, it was more like I was born into it. I mean, if you were born in the 80s and your parents, like my mom was 19, so, and she listened to like, it was her. She introduced me to the music that would introduce me to like hip hop, like watching beats, what's it, Electric Boogaloo and all the bright colors, like all of that, the 80s.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I living and breathing the 80s, you had to have fallen in love with hip hop at some point.
That's right. It was, undeniable. Certified 80s kid here as well. You just had to be enamored with what hip hop brought to the screen. Even I distinctly remember when Run DMC and what was the name of that rock and roll group? And they did that song, Walk
Oh,
This
rock
Way.
this way, yeah,
Yeah.
rock this. Was it? Don't give me the line now, because then the people will call me out. But it wasn't the Beastie Boys. I might be wrong.
So the Beastie Boys was also a rap group, but this group that collaborated with Run DMC, it was
Okay,
Steve
I don't
Tyler
remember.
and his rock and roll group, and it was such a moment, right, when they
It
came
was.
together, especially in the 80s moment, because hip hop was just gaining notoriety. And rock and
Yep.
roll had such a strong stance. Like that was really what MTV was mostly about, was bringing in rock and roll. That to have this collaboration, like when he broke through the wall and
That
brought
was
in the
major.
rap group, girl, it was so major, so major. So I'm right there with you that growing up in the 80s and living it, like one of my guests even made the mention that they cannot even remember a time without hip hop, right? It's just been something that has been ingrained in them. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, from the clothing to the sound. I mean, what you used to do. What did you do growing up in the 80s and 90s? You watched music videos, you listened to the radio, you were recording the radio, you were buying the vinyls, you were buying the CDs, you were putting the posters on the wall. It was in you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even the cassette tapes, the labels in the cassette tapes, I would take those out, even with the words on there. Like it was just such a
Yeah.
different time, right?
I was
Um,
writing them down on the pressing stop and record and stop and record. I had like books and books and books of just lyrics that I would just write down, and especially like rap lyrics, because I wasn't really listening to rap. I was very much I am the queen of R&B. So
okay,
like I was writing all the lyrics down, and to be a queen of R&B, you have to have a love for hip hop, because R&B artists was working with hip hop artists.
that's right. One artist in particular, like Heavy D, who was bridging both of
Oh
those,
my God, I
very much
love
so.
Heavy D.
I mean, we all did. Shout out to his estate, rest in power to Heavy D for what he brought to the culture and really bridging in rap and R&B. But Samantha, you've become such a trusted steward to hip hop's visual history. What originally inspired you to start collecting these magazines, vinyls, and artifacts? Like, what started you in the collection, and how do you maintain that to this day?
So that's like a huge question, but I'm gonna start with this.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna credit the magazine portion to my boyfriend. Like, he has all the magazines. Like, my mom would never let me keep the magazines, even if I wanted to. So when I saw his collection, he has all the vibes, the sources, the honeys, the black men. He has some ebonies. Boxes and boxes and boxes. And so he told me, I said, well, let me get them vibes. I know what to do with them. And then I started like going online to like eBay and stuff like that and maybe buying some one-offs, but most of these are his. And
Okay.
so he helped me, uh, you know, giving me the idea, and then I started with the content. Oh, I'm gonna put my nails in it. I'm gonna put my little in the videos and really connect with who's on the cover, what song was out, because I am very much that. And I do have like I think I did Beyonce, and Beyonce is the BFF, and I've had some moments with her that I may have incorporated in one of the videos. And I just have these things because I'm a keeper of things, especially memories.
Okay. So you are a memory keeper. And then shout out to your boyfriend for even having that. And that's probably one of the ways that you have bonded, where it's just one of many things that you all have in common is having this nostalgic collection of the culture. And that's so important. So we want to give flowers to you both for maintaining this and having so many different pieces to it. And plus, your vision, Samantha, of showcasing it and not just having it in a vault, but to be able to showcase to the world, because not only for people like myself, where I lived it and can be reminded by it, but you also have those that are discovering it for the first time. And, in the future, I would love for you all to maybe even consider creating a museum, like a real museum in the future, to have patrons to come in and to view those things, because that's not something we see every day.
No, not at all. And then the vinyl piece of it
Mm-hmm.
is during like the pandemic, old Pandy, we were in the house, and um my mom has this is her collection that she gave to me. So I
Okay.
was like, hey, let me, can I? Because she had gave me a record player. And so she was like, I'm only going to give you these certain ones. And I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like at least 45. And I was just like blessed to get 45 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Then a year later, she gave me her Prince's and Michael Jackson's and that part, and I was like, I have this collection of music that's like original. Like it's
Right.
not a copy that I ordered offline. It's my mama's copy.
Right. Right. Your mother going into the music store and making that purchase, that shows very much how trustworthy you are too, Samantha, to have your boyfriend and your mother to trust you with such sacred collections to themselves and to the culture. So, it's a beautiful aura that you absolutely have to be able to have these things and then to showcase it off. I mean, again, you have a digital sanctuary of
Mhm.
all the things that you showcase. And so much of your collection comes from the 80s, the 90s, and even in the 2000s. So what does that those eras represent to you personally and culturally? So you have the collection. So what does it mean to you personally and culturally with being the archivist that you are?
I ain't even think of it in that way. Like when people talk about me to me, I'm like, wow, I didn't even think of it in that way. I
Mhm.
just was creating content. But you're right. I am.
You are, yes,
This
ma'am.
is. And so, um, I don't take anything lightly.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
anytime I create any content, I know that I'm reaching someone, whether I'm connecting with them through a shared experience or where it takes them back to, you remember that too. A lot of the people that I follow on TikTok or that follow me, we may have went to the same high school, or they might be my friends, so we might have like really experienced it together. Or they're like, oh my God, how did you find this one? Or I remember this issue. So, especially now, you know what I'm saying? We all need a little nostalgia in a world that is going to hell in a handbasket.
Very true.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the nostalgia, the energy, the characteristics that you showcase it in, because you bring the fashion, you bring the tangible pieces of the collection, and you beautify it so well. And thank you for bringing joy back into the old school, into this new school, into the future, that we're all really, balancing and what that's going to look like. But it's always comfortable with knowing that I can always listen back to Prince or go back to Michael Jackson or DMC, Heavy D, and all the different things. And you all having the magazines, having that literacy that hip hop truly brought to the world, that's something extremely special. So I'm very proud of, even for this podcast, to seek out collectors like yourself, because again, I reached out to you to be on the podcast because it's so important for others to know this greatness and this excellence that you have created in this collection and showcase as well. So thank you for teaching and for leading us to remember our excellence and hopefully to, create even more into the future. And that also brings me to this next question as well, Samantha. When you curate your TikTok videos, you present each piece with reverence. How do you decide which covers or items to highlight in your given post? So talk to us about the strategy that you use to showcase your greatness.
Is there a strategy? I don't know, but let me talk you through like a day. Like today, I'm actually, after we finish recording, I do have two that I'm going to take pictures of.
Okay.
So I'll decide maybe the day before which magazines I'm going to take pictures of. So this one I've already did. So this is a nice specimen, right? DMX, love him all the way down to the ground.
Yeah.
All right. So I go through the magazine and I just take pictures, and I'll have music on in the background, whether it's his music or just some music. There's always something going on in the background and I'm vibing out. I'm taking pictures or small videos of each page. Now, as far as determining how I'm going to put them together or what's going to go, TikTok only gives you 36 images to work with.
Okay.
So it really be hard and tough to try and come up with what images that I'm going to put out there. So I make sure if the cover is the person that it incorporates a little more of them and less article, more pictures, because you got to catch the people's attention. And then also the song. It's the song choice.
That's true.
That will bring the magazine together. So I will like to look at the date of the magazine, maybe research what was going on, the date of the magazine with him.
Okay. And what year is that magazine? I wonder.
This one is October 98.
98. Okay. 1998. Oh, what a time to be alive. Okay, so you look at the date, you do your research as far as the songs and such, and then the vibes and the pages comes together, and then what happens next?
I determined the song from that. So I think I did How It's Going Down, I believe. And that's the one with Faith Evans, and that's like one of that was like, on 106 in Park at that time. That was like a song that was being played. It was summertime. You wanted to be there, right? You wanted to be the girl in the video. Boom. So I knew that DMX already, right? Then you have the song choice and pictures of him that this one was going to like bring the people.
That's right.
And so that's really it. And then it's already like, I like to make things pretty. So I also add the element of like, right now I don't have them, but press on nails. So I have like press on nails. So when I'm a hand model, right? I'm taking pictures of magazine covers. Your hands gotta look. It's a whole thing, baby. It's a whole experience when I am creating.
How brilliant, though, Samantha. All of that is so brilliant to take in all of the intricate pieces of it, right? And it's not even about the virality, right? Because you go on TikTok, that everybody has a suggestion on how to get more views and how to do this and how to do that, but that content is so heavy because of the research, the year, the way that the magazine has been taken such great care of. That magazine looks nearly new. And then the culture,
Yes.
right, it's nearly new. DMX is super young. Like that's when DMX first
Oh,
came out.
yep.
Like very much so. And then the perspective of the nails, that's also part of hip hop culture, where the nails being there and having those pieces and making it into this art. Like you're creating art with each post, which again in my mind as you're talking, you must really have a discussion on making a real museum. But I'm thinking too, like, how do you protect the magazines from people looking at it? Because yes, on TikTok and in the digital era, people only really want to be in tune with the pictures, but it's still very connected with those articles there. Like, sincerely.
So that's why I needed to talk to you later off camera because
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm
But
expecting that excellence. Uh huh. Uh huh.
yeah, but also in the interim of that, um, with the nails and all of that, like
Mm-hmm.
I make sure that the lighting is right. I have this decorative rug that I really like, and I make sure I'm on the floor actually taking pictures of it. Um, and when I'm editing, I'm making sure like it's quick
Mm-hmm.
and that it like kind of matches the beat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
So it'd be like, okay, it's a whole
Mm-hmm.
it'd be a whole thing. It's like a whole thing. And then like, because I don't really do the whole magazine, there's still so much more that I could touch.
Right. Right. But yet with that too, Samantha, you're taking such deliberate steps in showcasing this because it is, such an impact that each one of those has brought to the culture. Like, I appreciate it so much so. And I know that the hip hop scholar family and all who watch, appreciate the time that it's taking to put that together, that process. And as a person with a neurodivergent child and learning even my own neurodivergence, I can absolutely thank you so much for putting all those pieces together because those nuances of those details, they matter much. They matter so much to the people, to the impact, and to making certain that it's done the right way. And you're doing it in a way that really others can benefit and learn from when it comes to showcasing these pieces because we want it to last for a long time, a lifetime even, and not just for, little spurts here and there. So I want for people to
Mhm.
go to your page and to even see all the different things. Your collection, it spans from, vibe, the source. You have even other artifacts that are there too. You're not just having the vinyls in the magazine. You have so many different things. Come on now, show it to us. What you got there? Talk to me. Come on now.
So people ask like, how do you have these CDs? And I'm like, well, girl, the cars that I had still had a CD player, so I was keeping the CDs. And so, good old Columbia
TLC, come
House.
on. 400 Degrees. Lil Kim, come on. I saw the Snoop Dogg one too. Yes, yes. Oh,
You got
wow. The clump
Destiny's
soundtrack.
Child. I think was it Silk and Profile. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
Carl Thomas, 112, Aaliyah, Angie Stone.
Come on
I think
now.
there's a Kelly Price, and I just always kept
Yeah.
it because I had a car who had a CD player, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna keep the CDs because I'm gonna play the CDs in the CD player because I'm just gonna keep it. I don't want to throw it away. I'm going to
Absolutely
keep.
not.
And then even down to the albums, I was like, Mom, just give me the albums, like, because essentially in the house that I am building, I want to get like a one of those cabinets. You remember the old school cabinet that had the glass door and it had like your record player, the tape deck. I want that.
Okay. Okay.
It
And
will be
you'll
my
have that too. Absolutely. Come on now, flex on us. What else you got there? Come on,
so we
Queen.
got new edition. This ain't even all of it. We got,
Mm-hmm.
what is this? Evelyn King. We have all of these things. It's so many. Like I don't know. Like just Atlantic Star. It's just
You are my starship. Come take me up tomorrow. Girl, come on.
it.
Yes.
So when you venture this way, it's good. I want it to be like, oh, we're gonna put on a record player and drink mimosas. Yeah, and
Absolutely.
talk.
Absolutely. Oh, I mean, and take your time. You do not have to rush with showcasing your collection. And again,
Oh
we
no.
we already talked about your coming back on the podcast again.
Mhm.
Um, so with that, what since you have such an array and a beautiful spirit as well, Samantha, I really want you to think honestly with this question. What do you think modern hip hop media is missing that the magazines and the vinyls and even collecting those pieces like CDs and cassette tapes, what do you think is missing in this current era of hip hop media that we should definitely go back and capture and bring back?
Removing social media.
Break it down. Come on, talk to us. I agree. Social
You know,
media is
like we
great,
didn't
but
know, like this was our social media. This was our social media. We had no idea. We just it may have been talks that it was going on and we didn't know it was the gossip, right? I
mm-hmm.
remember one time TLC had came to Austin and supposedly they got in a fight at the mall, right? That was the talk, right? Ooh, but we wouldn't have known. Nobody don't really know, like unless you have the footage. It was just the talk.
Right.
So it's social. If there was no social media and they brung back like, so I don't know if you know. I back in my high school years, I was on Teen Summit, BET's Teen Summit. I had won a speaking part on that show.
No, I didn't know that because that means you got to meet Ananda Lewis as well.
No, not at the time. It wasn't Ananda. I can't remember the two women. I'm gonna redo that video and repost it on TikTok because I posted it like at least probably a year or two ago. But it was when it was the light skinned guy. His name was Patrick, and then it was the tall skinny guy with the little S
Oh,
curl. It
this was
was them.
before Ananda Lewis. This was like when
Yeah.
Teen Summit first began.
No,
Wow.
this was in 98,
Yeah.
97, 98. It was 97, 98.
Wow.
So,
Congratulations. That is something out of sight there. Wow, Samantha. Come on now. Talk to us about that experience being on Teen Summit. And yes, please. I would love to tag that video here for us to view that. But talk to us about that.
all I was just trying to do was write a paper for some extra credit for my English class because I probably was failing because I wasn't turning in my work. So I turned in this paper. It was about teen pregnancy and how it's like an epidemic, right? And what can we do as a community to stop it because it was on the rise, right?
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
I wrote this paper, turned it in, and didn't think nothing of it until one day I get a knock on the door, and it was from like FedEx or USPS, one of them, with a package saying that I had been entered and won. Like the junior, I think it was my junior year,
Mm-hmm.
junior sophomore year, and I had won this like desktop, and it was when Teen Summit used to come, like they would do tours like at different colleges and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Well, they had came to UT. And so I was going to be there anyway because my best friend was like in this club in high school and she was able to be on the show. So I was going to be her plus one. I didn't know that me writing that paper, I was going to have a speaking part on the show.
Oh my
And my
goodness.
speaking part was basically explaining because the show was about teen pregnancy. What was it? Teen promiscuity, teen pregnancy, laying it on the line. I think that's what it was called. So they basically asked me what could I do, or what did I suggest could be the thing that could help, and it was just for people to remain busy. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
the cure, to remain busy, keep your mind on the Lord.
Now, with that,
But it was a good time. Oh, an amazing time.
I can imagine, right? Especially in that day and age, like, just the experience alone. And shout out to your bestie too for, you not only being there, she inviting you and then turning that into your you're being showcased on there. But I wonder, was that a precursor to your becoming a doula? Like, if you were so inspired then about teen pregnancy and seeing what was happening, and now you are being very integral of supporting women in their pregnancies, I wonder if that was part of the influence and God just preparing you for where you are today.
I don't know, because when I think about it, right, because I went through this course, it was a 12-week course, and at such a time that I am really focused on myself. So I was like open for all of the things. And I knew that this was going to be emotionally heavy, right? All of the topics when it comes down to birth and the birthing experience. So I was preparing myself. And so I have learned so much in these 12 weeks. But what I also learned is it's in me. It was never like something that turned on. Children are not like it. It just it's always been a thing. Kids love and adore me. They love me, and so with that, I've been watching kids. One time, I have a whole little nanny story that was only lasted for 2.2 seconds. I've always been the community mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Young, old, pregnant. I'm always going to see the babies being born. I always had, like, whether I knew it or not, there was a natural sense of that I could call if you were pregnant or not. And just always had a special connection to babies and moms and women alike. So why not? And maybe I didn't know that it was going to be a doula. I always thought I was going to either be a teacher and or a nurse that delivered babies. That's what I would say when I was little. And so
Yeah. Look at you now. I mean, a mother of the culture, because even having these babies of your collection, I mean, you have VHS tapes, cassettes, magazines, you have so many artifacts that are really babies. They're very delicate. And that's something that all of us, that hits our inner child. So you could really, I want to term you as mother of the hip hop culture, Samantha, because you do have this motherly stance of having this collection and taking care of it like babies and making certain that they're taken care of, that they are protected, and that they are revered as absolutely as they are. So as you do that with physical babies, you do that with the digital media as well. So yeah, mother of the culture. That's you. That is absolutely you. Mother of the hip hop culture, ma'am. Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate it. I am loving giving me all the feels. I love it. Because like I just really just create because when I move into this space that I'm currently in now, I was in a smaller space. I'm still in the same apartment. I just moved across the street into a bigger 1 bedroom. But one of the promises I made to God was, or one of the reasons that I would give that I wasn't creating as much as I needed to, is because I needed space to. And if God gave me the space to create, that I was going to. So, with that being said, I have this space. I'm using it. This is the stew. Where's the stew? Here. Like I just always will. I have so much content I just have not posted because I just like pick up my camera and not just forget that it's there. And then from there, you might have a couple of clips because I know you might have seen me do the Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
It's because like I'm really vibing with myself and you're catching me in true moments. Like that ain't no act. Like what you are seeing is like a transformation happening, an elevation.
And when you were saying that, I was thinking here in Houston at the Museum of Fine Arts, they always do exhibits of different kinds. And maybe, that's something you and I can talk about, is even getting in contact on how to showcase, right, a part of your collection at the Museum of Fine Arts, and being able to share out, not the whole collection, because I think you and your boyfriend, that you all should have a discussion on building your own building for a museum with all the artifacts and such, but also finding ways to showcase that across the nation, across the world even. I know there are many places around the world that celebrate hip hop, and you having this motherly instinct to curate and to be very careful with this delicate collection. I think that's why you are taking your time when it comes to the digital content, because your collection deserves much more than. It's not just a look and like type of a thing. It is to be immersed and experience and have an event towards it. What you have is so much more than meets the eye. It's definitely something that, different generations can come together and view and learn and discover together. So it's in you. It's absolutely in you. And I think it did take for myself to come in and tell you, ma'am, this is much big. It's as big as you think it is. And so finding a way to really create that. And so I'm going to definitely assist you here in Houston to find different ways. And I hope that anybody that's watching will also give us some resources on being able to showcase your collection, because it's vast. And not many people have that type of a collection to share, especially that's taken well care of. I know one of my other guests, No Expressions in California, he has a basement full of vinyl. Like he too is an archivist, and he has all different types of vinyls as well. And I've told him, as well as a museum, but just like you, he's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. This is just something that I have, just something that I've done. And what you all have done it will and has and is impacting hip hop culture in a magnificent way. When you were talking about TLC fighting at the mall in Austin, I was thinking about, the Puff Daddy documentary. How many magazines and different things they talk about Sean Combs and P. Diddy, and, us not knowing then what we're able to know now because of us not having social media, right? Like we were in the dark of so many things. Talk to me. Yes, ma'am.
Even with that being said, and you bringing up the did stir, there was still talk then. Now, yeah. And we all know what Hollywood is. So nothing should ever be surprising. However, back then, nothing was recorded. People didn't really have video cameras unless you really put your money into it. It was just a little more freer. Like the club scene was just so much different than what I don't even go to the club. I don't do the club, but like the club scene was totally different. You see people talking about it on the TikTok. the music was just a little more, even though it was probably talking about the same things, it was just maybe a little more romantic and a little of a variety, especially when it comes to like R&B and hip hop. Nobody sounded the same.
Right, right. That's right.
So there was a lot of variety, and even though people were like, this person is the next this person, no, everybody was different. Mm-hmm. And if you want to ask me who one of my favorite artists are, I am going to say Missy Elliott.
Yes.
Oh, and yeah. I'm going to say Missy Elliott because, one, she was a plus size woman.
That's right.
And in any industry, whether it was hip hop or the bip bop or R&B, they wasn't really looking at the curvy girls. Even in Hollywood, they wasn't checking for us. Missy also was just very different, and she embraced it.
Oh yeah, she was singing on the tracks, dancing. She had the visuals that were like no other, very Afro-futuristic in there. I'm glad you brought up Missy Elliott because not only was she and is she, even my youngest son, he loves Missy Elliott. He'll put on her music and those videos and he'll mimic the dancing and everything because she is and was iconic in what she did. She was the first of her kind to create remember the bubble suit? Super duper fly with the bubble suit. Like nobody was thinking of doing that, right? And she brought it to the culture. So yeah, shout out to Missy Elliott for sure. That's a great one.
And so we have a family story. My dog, we found this dog. And we were trying to figure out a name for the dog. This is the family dog. I was about 18, 19 at the time. Missy's the Real World had came out, and I was playing it. The dog starts dancing. And the song that was on was She's a Bitch.
Oh.
You can read that out. Mm-hmm. And she started pouncing, like. And we were like, is she dancing? And so her name was Missy Misdemeanor Matthews. Rest in peace to the dog. Oh. Missy, that was her name, was Missy, because she was dancing to Missy.
I love Missy. I wanted to see the dog, but she just said since passed away.
No, Missy passed away, child, some years ago. But Missy was a good dog. Missy was a good dog.
How beautiful!
That was her name, Missy Misdemeanor. Oh. So it's always been in me, whether it was R&B or hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they infuse, with each other. You have your Mary. Mm-hmm. And you have, I'm just saying, like, you had to.
You had Mary J. Blige. You had Missy Elliott. You had TLC. You had all these genre blending artists.
Lauryn Hill.
Come on now. Yes. Mm-hmm. All these. Tenderism. Come on, girl. I ain't gonna throw my glasses, but yes, ma'am.
Mariah Carey. And Mariah Carey worked with everybody.
Sure. Old dirty bastard. Yes, ma'am. Oh yeah, she did.
She was working with all of the people. So you had Nas.
Yep. Sure did. Amy Winehouse, come on now. Yes. Come on now.
So it's like as much as I love 90s R&B music, like you can't not like some type of hip hop.
Correct. And you got the TLC. Come on now.
Then, speaking of what we was just talking about that you're going to watch after this show.
Come on now. Look at you. Yes. What year? What year is that magazine?
This is October 99, and I graduated in 99.
I graduated in '99 too. Come on now. Yes, I did. Yep. Class of 1999. Yes, ma'am.
So we
Last
didn't
of
even
a
talk
kind.
about where were you when he got shot.
Right. Right. Girl, I remember on Channel 1, Lisa Ling and Craig Jackson, when they talked about it in class when both of them were unalived. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are in the same lineage, my dear Samantha.
Oh, well,
Absolutely.
child, then never mind. You know.
No, but still, but you're teaching
Yeah,
us
no, but you know
still.
what I'm saying? Like, you
Oh,
know.
yes, yes. Which is why, again, I appreciate you so much so. I appreciate what you have. And if nobody's ever told you, thank you so very much. I am so proud of you, Samantha, for holding on to the culture, being able to showcase the culture, because even those two last magazines with Tupac and Biggie in this day and age, can you imagine? And again, I'm so serious about showcasing that in a museum where it's protected and respected. Like, I want people to put respect on your name for taking the time to hold on to these for decades, even. And there are several people in our generation, before us and after us, that this is a necessity. What you've done with such natural beauty and just a natural want to love, even for the puppy Missy Misdemeanor, the love of that, that just speaks volumes of who you are, Samantha. And so I have some other questions too, and it's kind of taking me off because, wow, look at your collection. What are some of your favorite pieces from your collection? Some that are maybe sacred, irreplaceable, some that people could never touch. What do you have that's like that?
I didn't even bring that down, honestly. They're all sacred to me, especially when it comes from the people who I got it from. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
when I take a look at them and I open them up, I'm like, oh my God, like, even just talking about this, like when we were talking about putting posters up, and I actually bought this one from eBay. It still has the posters intact. So then it just takes you back, and it's like, there isn't a favorite.
Look at that. And it got, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's no favorite. And then it's like, I haven't even taken the time to sit down and like read. Me and my boyfriend were talking about that one weekend. We need to like sit down and just actually look and read through them and not just take pictures of them. Like, okay, you got,
Drew Hill, look at that. Yeah.
so it's like, I don't have a favorite piece. All of this is like, takes me back and is my favorite. It's my comfort. Like, I think this is Third Story. So
Wow.
this is from December 99, I think. Yeah.
Look at that young
So
Buster getting
when you think
wine.
of this, yeah, when you think of December 99, what were you doing? So I always am like, okay, what was I doing?
Getting
How
ready
old
for
was I?
Y2K.
Right, getting ready for Y2K, and then I was what we had just graduated, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We was trying to figure out what we was gonna do with life. Then all of the things of whatever happened. So that's how I come up with the
Okay.
content. It's relating to what was I doing also back then. Cause like there was one of these magazines. I think it was a Word Up. It's very fragile. That I was living in Germany.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was living in Germany. My parents were in the army,
Okay.
so
Okay.
lived in Germany. House music. My family. I have family that live in Rochester, New York, but also Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, up north, roots, down south. I
Mm-hmm.
lived a little bit over in Germany for a lot of my years. Then I lived in Cali for a little bit. And then my dad retired early out of the army and we settled in Austin.
Okay. Okay.
So that gives you a little bit about me, and which is probably why you feel like I was probably up north or somewhere.
Yeah,
I
you're
was
from
born
all
in
over. You were born
Killeen,
where?
Texas. So
Okay.
the base there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, and fancy Jamie Foxx. Yes.
This is March of '98.
Oh yeah, yeah. It has to be. That's Jamie Foxx show. That was such a great show.
Yeah, great show.
And Garcelle Bouvet had really been able to get like a great opportunity to act in that show too.
And I just feel like TV was different. You had Martin, you had In Living Color, you had so many shows, Living Single. I'm not even touching half of them, but you had all different types of shows back then. People were watching music videos and really watching the video. And
Yeah.
it was very like light and told a story. You
Mhm.
had your Aaliyahs, you had the man that we don't like to mention, but he was very, he was there.
Yeah.
You have your, you just have to love music back then. It was just like, that's what you did. You listened to music. Everything had a playlist. You were listening to the radio, writing down lyrics. You were doing all of the things.
That's right.
The movies were geared towards like soundtracks. There's no really such thing as soundtracks anymore. Like,
I was sharing with my husband and my youngest son. I was like, you know what? We're gonna watch the movie Juice. And when we
I was
watch,
just gonna mention that.
girl, because the majority of the actors in Juice are hip hop artists. And
Yep.
I didn't even recognize that until we just re-saw it, Samantha. I was like, wait a minute. That's such and that's such and such. Like the whole movie, even within Vogue, like it was full of musicians in there, including Queen Latifah and everybody. Like it was just such a iconic type of a collaboration with everybody, right?
But just like even like okay, so I mean, we going for movies. Let's go there. You got Sunset Park. You do have Juice. You have what's the other one? There's
Above
just
the
like so
rim.
many.
Oh,
Above the Rim soundtrack. Like
that
you
girl.
have even like before then you have your god dog, what is the movie? I cannot think of it
Boys in
right
the
now.
Hood.
Boys in the Hood. You have your New Jack City.
New Jack City. Yep. Yep. Yep.
And you watched movies, you watched TV. That's what you did. So it was like, I mean, I watch those movies all the time, and I'm gonna tell you what movie I love, and I used to watch it because back in the day on HBO on a Saturday, they would play a movie like every day for a whole week, and it
Yes,
was
it did.
Belly.
Yes.
Belly.
Be- Belly with DMX and Nas. Hype Williams was the producer. That is still one
I
of a
can watch that. I used to watch it every time it came. Me and my best friend used to watch it every time it came on in the
I bet.
summertime.
Yes. Why do you think that is? Why do you think you and the bestie watched the movie every time it came in? Talk to us.
Well, first of all, Nas was like, yummy, yummy, yum. Okay. And I was like, Nasir Jones, yes. Because, like, you owe me something. So then also, it was just like the cinematography, and it was just very like, ooh, we want to. I really wanted to live in New York and like sit on the stoop in the summertime and eat watermelon. And I don't know, like, it just seemed like so cool to have a brownstone, but that's just how it appeared.
Right.
And but it just was, I don't know. I don't know why we watched the movie like we did, but we did. We watched that. What's another film?
Can't forget House Party. All the House
Oh,
Party.
child, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 and 10. But my favorite one will be when they went to, was it 2, when they were in college?
Yes.
And it was like the house party. I don't know what you came to do. Yeah, that one was my favorite one though. Then when it started going to the 4 and 5 and the 6, when then the church started coming, and all of that, then I was like, they doing too much.
Yeah.
But I loved 1. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
1, undeniable. But 2 will have to be my favorite. What would you say?
I thank you so much for asking. I love the House Party too. When kid goes to college, because one of my like when I do finish and get this PhD, one of my goals in life is that part where he having the dream and he's going like this.
Yes.
I want to have that photo shoot for when I graduate, get that with my hood and everything, because I think that was so dope.
So cool.
Right? And with those movies as well, with House Party, Belly, all the movies we just talked about, all these movies had opportunities for artists to be actors as well, with Ice Cube, even T-Boz from TLC, Nas and DMX. They may not have been the best actors or thespians of art when it came to that, but it also just gave an opportunity for hip hop to be shown in a bigger way. And so movies like Belly, I really feel like you and the bestie watched that because the cinematography of it was so inspirational. Yeah. And one of a kind, Hype Williams was absolutely a director who was like none other. And that's what hip hop also brought, is this newness of being able to give opportunities for artists like Missy Elliott, for DMX, and really all the ones. And then even with R&B, being able to, blend these different genres. That's something that we haven't seen, replicated in other genres, not even close in that same way. And I would love to see that our younger generations learn from that and see that as well, which again is the point of this podcast today, Miss Samantha, is to showcase you and celebrate your work and your determination in holding on to the culture and the beauty of what it was and what it still brings to hip hop in 2025 and beyond, and really 2026. Absolutely.
Okay, because it's around the corner.
Right around the corner. So I have about 2 more questions I want to ask you before we finish off. Now, and I'm glad I have this question, and this is something that we're going to manifest right here, right now. When your collection is turned into a museum exhibit, what are you going to title it? Come on, let's talk about it. You have all the artifacts that you're going to present to the world. What's going to be the title of it and why?
Okay, this was my first thought. And this is just first thought. Okay. The experience. Because it's an experience. Everything I do is an experience. From when you asked me what was I doing this morning, I said I'm making brunch. That everything I touch is an experience. From when I wake up in the morning to when I go to bed at night. I want everybody to have the Samantha experience. Whatever that is. Now, all experiences may not be good experiences, and that's all right. That's the experience that you chose.
Exactly. But it's an experience that you will be changed by nonetheless.
Nonetheless, okay?
You'll be changed. You will learn from it. And that's beautifully spoken, the experience, the hip hop experience even, where you get a sense of the true hip hop. And, I love that. I think that, being the first name that pops up, come on now, you got something going there. Okay.
Well, segue. So I have a podcast called The Real Girlfriend Experience. I haven't really recorded much of nothing since 2019 because I had decided to sit down and like really deal with myself, and it took a while. But I think I've been quiet for far too long, and it's time to talk because people need to hear my voice. And I have things to talk about, girl. I got all of the things to talk about, all of the lessons that I have learned since 2019. However, the podcast still exists on all listening platforms. The Real Girlfriend Experience. Experience is spelled with the X. And even I have a website where I was linking with women of color, Black women who had their own businesses, and I would shout them out each Wednesday. I would call it Who Runs the World Wednesday. And I would get your biography, and I would basically shoot it out to my people, and they can see what you are about, what you bring the people to you. That was one of the things that I did with the podcast. It would be mainly my friends, and I would make it in a way that they would feel comfortable talking in front of the mic because not everybody is me. But I make it comfortable that people will forget that there's a mic there anyway, because I would bring in a story that we have, a shared experience that we might have had together, and go from there. And that's how the episodes are curated. And they're also the titles of the episodes are very tied to 90s R&B titles. So if you would like to listen to some of the old ones, because they're good. They're very good. Go listen on one of your listening streams. I haven't done this in since 2019, child. I think it's on one of them. We'll find it and I'll tell you. So I want you to listen to Melanie.
And absolutely, I'm going to tag it. And it's not good. I'm sure it's amazing, sensational even. And I'm going to tag it in the description here for the YouTube and for the Spotify and our clips, so that people.
Oh yeah, I'm there too. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get this accessible to everybody, because again, there are the Samantha experience that you have created and what's seen. You have a digital sanctuary, and I sought you out because I guess I too was seeking this experience with Samantha. And you are such an amazing gift to the world with all the great things and greatness that you do have. And I hope that you feel celebrated today, seen and heard. Absolutely so. I do hope so, my dear. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I hope so. I want to ask you one more question before he leaves. This is a fun question. If you could step back into any one of the years from the 90s, 80s, even early 2000s for just 24 hours, which year are you choosing and what are you going to be doing? 24
That's
hours.
so funny. Me and my boyfriend talk about this all the time. Because if you want to, if we had a podcast to talk about, yeah. Because we talk about this all the time. What time period would you go back? That's so much. You have so much power, though. Like, you would have to be careful in the way that you move and what you say.
True. That's true.
So, I said that I would like, because I haven't been there before. I think I would like to go back to maybe I want to be able to party during the time Biggie and Tupac were alive. I was in high school. I want to be able to have been a grown adult. So right. When hip hop was first created, I wanted to have been born or have been a couple of years old to be able to experience the smell, the feel of everything.
Yes.
The time, the food. Be able to feel that time.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
was that like late 70s,
Yeah.
like
So
70, 75?
yeah. So that means that, being almost like a teenager in the 80s
Yeah.
and being able to grow in that. One of the guest artists, his name Sukkot Jones, but he goes by Khalid Salam. He actually was doing performances in the 90s with those artists back in the 80s and the 90s. He's in his latter 50s now, but he remembers
Yeah.
distinctly all of those different places. And it's like, wow, we grew up in it as children and really being inspired by it. But to be a young adult and growing up in that is definitely something different. And then, knowing now, like with my oldest son and even with my youngest son, they're in their teens and early 20s. They didn't grow up in it at all. And I've always introduced that to them, so they'll, their peers, or really my peers, are surprised when my son, he'll know the lyrics to 8 Ball MJG, or my son will know Kendrick Lamar. And it's like, that's what we do for our youth. We want for them to grow up and know these things just like our people did that for ourselves. So that's a beautiful way to cap this episode, is to think about, growing up as a teenager or as a young adult in hip hop and really experiencing it in that way. But truly, for the culture, I think you'll be able to give that to so many in this newer generation. So when we do finish up this podcast, I want to talk briefly about, creating not only your own museum, but traveling museums to showcase this, because you do have this experience and this beautiful aura, Miss Samantha. It has been a joy to talk with you today on the podcast, and I'm looking forward to our next and many other collaborations. Yes, ma'am. So sweet. And then, yeah, for the Hip Hop Scholar family, thank you so much for tuning in to the Hip Hop Scholar podcast. I am Melanie. We are out of here. Peace. See you on the next one.